You're watching the Cowboys Report, made possible today by True Classic Tees. I'm wearing one right now because they're super comfortable, they feel great, and they actually fit me properly. And they're giving you, the watchers of the Cowboys Report, 25% off your order when you head over to trueclassictees.com/chat and use promo code chat. Some big-time injury news this morning for you guys, although not like technically announced officially, formally by the Dallas Cowboys organization. Dak Prescott will not be playing this week, as has been the expectation despite what maybe Dr. Jerry tried to say. Dak is still going to stick with the rehab group today. The Dallas Morning News has reported he's not going to play this week. I know on 103 The Fan, Jerry on Tuesday was like, you never know how the rehab goes and the recovery timeline. Dak's making good recovery. That's still the case right now, but he's just not ready yet. And Mike McCarthy said he wanted a full week of Dak practice before he plays. Well, he's going to be in the rehab group today, so he's not going to practice, so he's not going to play. To be clear, Week 5 was never that realistic. I know that's what Dr. Jerry had tried to sell, as he was selling some hopium pretty early this year because they were worried about Cooper Rush, but he's proved everyone wrong on that front there. Week 5 was never a actual realistic timeline, long shot at best from that standpoint. Now, next week, maybe. We'll see how this goes. We'll see how this week of practice and recovery and rehab goes from that standpoint for Dak Prescott. This was never really a 4-week injury. That was always like the most optimistic of most optimistic timelines. But when your owner's talking up a quick rehab and now it's not the case, you maybe feel a little bit disappointed, even though it's going the way it is supposed to go, frankly. So Cooper Rush, once again, the magician himself, will get another start for the Dallas Cowboys. 3-0 this year, 4-0 all time, never lost as the Cowboys' starting quarterback. So it's Rush for this week against as we're going to do our preview, a more challenging, very winnable game still against the LA Rams, but we're focused in on the injury side of things here. So make your predictions for me. Dak Prescott, Week 6 against the Eagles. Will he be back for that game? This is going to be the pinned comments on today's video. So if the ad break comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down to that pinned comment. It's the first one you'll see. And while the ad plays, if one pops up, type in Y for yes or N for no. I think Week 6 is way more feasible for the Cowboys and Dak Prescott and this injury recovery timeline. With that said, I don't think I'd consider this a guarantee that Dak plays Week 6. Remember, the initial timeline was like, maybe your window barely starts to open in Week 6, and maybe you don't get him back until the bye or the Lions-Bears game. Then things kind of were a more promising timeline. Then Dr. Jerry got wild with it. Now we're back more to the original, more promising timeline where a Week 6 return would still be very much ahead of schedule from that perspective for the Dallas Cowboys. I think this week of practice or non-practice will help inform just how close the Cowboys are to getting Dak Prescott back. Now, Week 9 is your bye. You're on the road, Week 5 at the Rams, Week 6 at Philadelphia, Sunday Night Football. I think at minimum for that week, you might see some gamesmanship from McCarthy as to, will he play, will he not play? Week 7, Week 8, better offenses for the Lions. They've actually been awesome this year on offense. Their defense not so much, and the Bears have been not that great either. Very much a run-first heavy team. Maybe not your best matchups defensively those 3 weeks, but offensively they start to get better Week 7, Week 8. I would be shocked if Dak does not come back by Week 8. I'd put the over-under at that Week 6 timeline for Dallas. But we'll see how Rush plays, and most importantly, we'll see how Dak's recovery is. There is no reason to push him back and risk jeopardizing your season. Because you know what? Everyone's trying to make the Rush Dak thing happen. You know what we should be talking about? We should be talking about how great this defense looks, and you're winning football games with backup QB. Why can't you make a run in the NFC if Dak is healthy and the offense takes it to another level? Because right now your offense has not been that great still. Defense is carrying you. But if the offense steps up, NFC's wide open. You can make a run this year. Now, today's show, I'm wearing one right now. It's all made possible by True Classic Tees. Get yourself outfitted with T-shirts that fit properly up here or here, and especially down here. T-shirts and polos, by the way. I'm wearing the polo because I'm more of a polo guy myself. 25% off your order when you use promo code CHAT, that's C-H-A-T, over at trueclassictees.com trueclassictees.com/chat. That's trueclassictees.com/chat. You're not going to find actually properly fitting polos and T-shirts that are, the cheapo $5 one that don't fit and then they get super wrinkly in the wash. It's a disaster, right? Get good and affordable T-shirts and polos from True Classic Tees. 25% off at trueclassictees.com/chat. How about some good injury news? How about this surprising development? Damone Clark is going to practice this week for the Dallas Cowboys. Yeah, how about that? I know Steven had hyped up, you might see Damone Clark early this year. I never really bought into that one. I was wrong. The Cowboys are going to open the 21-day practice window for Damone Clark, who has apparently gone above and beyond in his rehab, has constantly been in the facility. A lot of praise from Mike McCarthy. Makes sense. He's a good leadership type of guy. I showed that at LSU there. Here are the rules for this activation window now for Damone Clark. He has 21 days to practice. It's kind of a free practice window. He does not count against the active roster in that timeline. After 21 days or before, you could bring him back to the active roster at any point in this window. But after 21 days, it is decision time. Either he moves to the roster and has to count against the 53-man limit, or he stays on the NFI list. Normally it's the IR, but this is a non-football injury game at LSU pre-draft, so he's on the NFI list, not IR right now. Or he stays on the NFI list for the season. So 3 weeks, we'll know what the plan is for Damone Clark. I don't think the Cowboys will rush him. He needs ramp-up time. He has not been practicing for the Cowboys. He needs all, I think, of those 21 days, which at that point, we'll see what the decision is. Mike is playing your edge more than linebacker right now. LVE and Anthony Barr are the only ones who really played linebacker for this team. Devin Harper was a scratch in favor of Jabril Cox last week. Luke Gifford is a special teamer. If Damone Clark makes an impact this year, I would say keep an eye on it from a special team standpoint, not we're going to bench Barr for the 5th-round rookie, who I like a lot. I'm very excited about Damone Clark. And if you are too, show me by typing DC in the in the comments section. DC for Dallas Cowboys, but really for Damone Clark here. I'm very happy that neck surgery, the recovery has gone so well. That maybe you don't see it this year that much, but that could end up being a real steal for the Dallas Cowboys. To be clear, look, I love seeing this for Damone Clark. I'm very happy that he's out there, clearly ahead of schedule. A lot of people around the draft had kind of suspected, and even NFL teams were like, this is probably a season-ending injury, going to be a redshirt player his first year. Maybe not. Maybe it's not a redshirt year after all for Damone Clark. Very happy on that front. Now, if you want more free videos all season, off-season, preseason, playoff time long, this is your one-stop shop. Hit that big red button and subscribe at youtube.com/CowboysTV. Now, if you follow me on Twitter, you know the answer to this question, but maybe you saw Jayron Kearse tweet this out yesterday, the three-headed monster, if you will. I don't know if everyone knew what he meant, but I do. Jayron Kearse is back for the Dallas Cowboys. That's what that tweet means. He is forming the big nickel, big dime, three-headed safety package once again with Malik Hooker and Donovan Wilson. This was confirmed today at the Mike McCarthy press conference where he says Kearse is going to be good to go there. So Kearse is returning now for the Dallas Cowboys. You will still see Malik Hooker. You will still see Donovan Wilson. Dan Quinn absolutely loves to run the big nickel, big dime. That is 3 safeties on the field. You know nickel and dime is you pull a linebacker, pull 2 linebackers off the field. The big version is instead of going with another corner, you put a safety out there. You'll see Jayron Kearse basically playing linebacker for you this week. Maybe less snaps for Anthony Barr and probably some fewer for Leighton Vander Esch. Kearse has been one of your best tacklers on this football team. Perfect timing because you're going to need those 3 when you play the Eagles, in particular in Week 6, and against the Rams, who they like to use Bennett Skarsgård, as some people like to call him because it's funny. He's the receiver for the Rams. You'll see him. He plays fullback for them, too. You're going to want your safeties out there for that particular personnel package for L.A. So how hyped are you about this Cowboys defense? They have been awesome this year. The takeaways went down. Have gone down. We knew that could be an outcome, but they have been like number 4 and 6. They've been an easy top 5 defense so far this year. Hype it up for me in the comments section from 1 to 100. Final note, James Washington is not yet ready to return. He needs more recovery time from his broken foot. That's not a huge surprise. That's week 4, week 5 recovery timeline was a bit more of an aggressive one. Foot injuries for receivers typically take a little bit longer to recover. It's more of I'll put a strenuous injury on that particular position more so than others. Of course, you all need it, but you know what I mean. And I'll make this note. It's okay. Even if Washington was 100% healthy, which is not right now, what's it going to do? The Cowboys are not rushing James Washington back. Gallup is back. Lamb is top 5 in targets this year. Noah Brown's been a nice little surprise. What's the role for James Washington? The answer is maybe wide receiver 4. But wide receiver 4 is not getting many snaps. Fehoko had 10 last week. You have your package here for Kevontae Turpin. That's significant from that standpoint there. Wide receiver 4 simply isn't getting major reps for the Cowboys. And who are you going to put on IR or cut to make room for Washington? You're not going to cut Turpin. You're going to maybe make up an injury for Tolbert or Fehoko. But again, Washington's not a special teamer. So there is no rush to get back James Washington right now. That is a future Cowboys problem. We'll see when he ends up being fully healthy. If you have not already, please hit that big red button and subscribe. It's youtube.com/CowboysTV. Free videos every day. And yes, we'll be live on Sunday.